He's the best Prime Minister we never had, and today he's the President of the Stop the War Coalition. Please welcome Tony Benn.
Friends, we are not just a protest movement content to walk in the streets because we do not like what the government has done. This is a peace movement on a global scale, and those of us who come today can be quite confident that 99% of the people of the world would share our own hopes for peace and our own hostility to war. The world is now run by a tiny minority of people representing big business and imperial interests, and we are the people, and we are demanding our rights to be heard and also our right to decide what is done in our name with the tax money that we pay. Now, the Iraq War was an illegal war. 55, 60 years ago, at the end of the last World War, every government in the world adhered to the Charter of the United Nations, which pledged to lift the burden of violence. And that charter is the basis of international law, and the American and British and other governments that went to war broke international law. It is an illegal war. It is also an immoral war, because 100,000 Iraqis have been killed. A city the size of Cardiff, Fallujah, has been destroyed, and a few thousand live in the ruins of that town, that city that was bombed. The torture that goes on has gone on with the acquiescence of the political leaders. And also, it is an unwinnable war, because no one can seriously believe that the United States can forever dominate the Middle East. But also, and I think we should never forget this, the money spent on the war has betrayed poor people all over the world, who, if the money had been spent on drugs, on hospitals, on schools, would have gone some way to resolve the problems facing humanity. And what we are demanding today, let us be absolutely clear, we're not asking, we're not pleading, we're demanding. The troops be brought back from Iraq, that there be no attack on Iran or Syria, that the Palestinians have a state under their own internationally agreed frontiers, and that Mordecai Vanunu be released from prison because he has recently been arrested. And also, we want our civil liberties back, because we are suddenly realizing that in taking freedom away from the Iraqis, we have taken it away from ourselves. And what we want is the truth. We have been lied to time and time and time again about the war, and you cannot have a democracy if your leaders lie. If you can't believe what you're told, how can you make up your mind as to what you want to do? And that is the basis of a democratic society, that people have their civil liberties and they know they can trust what they are told. Now, the last point I'd make, because there are many speakers, is very simple. We are the first generation in history that could destroy the human race if the weapons of mass destruction, chemical, nuclear, and biological, are used for wars like this one, which are imperial in character. You could destroy the human race, but we are also, friends, the first generation in the human history that have had enough resources, if we applied them sensibly, to resolve the problems of the world. And that is the choice that we have to make. Now, someone referred to Trafalgar Square. I've been here many, many times over 50 and more years, and I've seen so many causes that begin in Trafalgar Square, ending up as the policy of the British government. So don't look for a new leader. Look to yourselves, have confidence in yourselves, and if you do that, there's nothing we can't achieve. Thank you very much for listening.